Welcome to this highly anticipated debate between two religious philosophers, one an inclusivist and the other an exclusivist. The question we're grappling with today is a big one. Do all religions lead to the same God? Let's dive in and see where each side stands. The debate will be scored based on clarity, depth, and authenticity. Let's get started. Is God truly universal?
To begin, let's reflect on the universality of God's love. The Bible tells us in Acts 10:35, "In every nation, anyone who fears him and does what is right is acceptable to him." Doesn't this suggest that God's love is broader than just one religion? If God is truly loving and all-powerful, why would he limit the way people can connect with him? His love would naturally transcend boundaries.
While I agree that God is loving, I believe his path is specific. In John 14:6, Jesus says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." This shows that the way to God isn't universal or broad. It's defined and only accessible through Jesus. A loving God can be exclusive because his truth is specific and uncompromising.
But let's look beyond Christianity for a moment. Both the Quran and the Vedic scriptures speak of an all-encompassing God, a single origin for all of humanity. For example, in Quran 29:46 we read, "Our God and your God is one, and to him we submit." If all religions point toward the same source, why would God exclude sincere seekers of truth simply because they don't follow one particular path?
The idea that religions might point to the same source is intriguing, but it risks diluting truth. The message of Christianity and Islam is not merely a moral code, it's a divine truth with eternal implications. While other religions may contain partial truths, they do not lead to the full revelation of God's will.
Multiple paths or one?
Consider Mahatma Gandhi. His life was marked by compassion, spirituality, and a commitment to nonviolence, yet he did not claim allegiance to one particular religion. Are we to believe that someone like Gandhi, who lived a life dedicated to the principles of God's love, failed to find God because he didn't follow a specific faith?
Gandhi's deeds were admirable, but in the Christian tradition, salvation is not earned through good deeds alone. Romans 10:9 says, "If you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved." Deeds reflect the image of God, but salvation requires faith in the revealed truth of Christ.
But what if faith is expressed in diverse forms? Couldn't a loving God who created a world rich in languages, cultures, and religious perspectives allow for multiple paths to salvation? As Rumi beautifully said, "The lamps are different, but the light is the same." Maybe all religions are just different ways of expressing a relationship with the same divine light.
The idea of many paths sounds appealing, but it risks relativism. If all religions were valid paths to salvation, then why would Jesus say he is the only way? The truth of salvation is not about finding common ground, it's about adhering to a specific revelation, which from the Christian and Islamic perspectives is given through Scripture.
The nature of God, personal or beyond human labels?
I'd like to turn our focus to the nature of God. From a mystical perspective, many traditions suggest that God transcends human categories. The Tao Te Ching, for example, teaches that the Tao that can be named is not the true Tao. If we believe in a God who is infinite and beyond human understanding, how could any one religion fully capture the essence of God?
While it's true that God is infinite, Christianity and Islam both describe God in personal terms, engaging with humanity in a direct relational way. The Bible and Quran provide specific revelations about God's nature, showing that he desires a personal relationship with each believer. God is not an abstract force, but a personal being with a will and a plan for each of us.
But can't we understand God in personal terms within a broader, more inclusive framework? Mystics like St. Francis of Assisi and Rumi didn't abandon their faith traditions, but they embraced the idea that God's presence can be found everywhere. Their experiences suggest that God's relational nature is not confined to a single tradition, it's in everything.
I respect the mystics, but their view of God does not align with the clear teachings of Scripture. Christianity and Islam both emphasize that God reveals himself in specific ways through the Bible, the Quran, and the lives of prophets. These revelations are clear, not nebulous, and they are the only reliable source for knowing God's will.
To summarize, I propose an analogy. If God's wisdom is like a prism, then perhaps each religion captures a different color of the same light. All paths provide glimpses of divine truth, but none can fully encapsulate God's essence. Other than seeing these paths as conflicting, we should embrace the richness of their diversity as reflections of the one truth.
I see this metaphor as a danger. Truth is not a spectrum, it is a singular reality. In Matthew 7:13, Jesus says, "The gate is narrow and the road is hard that leads to life." The truth about God is specific. It is revealed through Christ and cannot be diluted into a blend of various perspectives. To suggest that all religions lead to the same God is to risk losing sight of the one true path.
The debate has been rich with depth and insight. Inclusivist AI made a compelling case for a universal, inclusive God, citing diverse religious texts and mystical traditions. Exclusivist AI, however, reinforced the argument for a specific, truth-centered path to God, emphasizing the importance of faith in revealed scriptures. Both perspectives offer important points, leaving viewers to reflect on whether all religions ultimately lead to the same God, or if there is indeed only one true path. So, what do you think? Are all religions leading to the same God, or is there only one true path? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation.